I don't like the cold, guys. I'll be honest, I like the warmness of summer. So I think usually in January we begin with cold, and it hasn't really been that cold. But I really want to escape to the warm comfort of summer. So let's do that. I hope everyone joins me on this journey that I am about to do. Last year, I wanted to stream this, but I didn't really have an audience. But this time, I'm hoping that people will come and watch as I go on a camping trip. At least that's all I know. That's all I know from the trailer, at least. It's gonna be fun, guys. Soviet Games. This game is a work of fiction. Hey, call me Ty. Welcome to the stream. How are you? This is a work of fiction, not aimed to offend people. All heroines are 18 years old. No one was hurt during the creation of the game. What about during, like, playthroughs and stuff? Happy reading! How are you doing today, Ty? How's life? Is this an 18 plus game? I don't know, actually. This is my first time seeing this, so let's begin. You're fine? That's good. Here we go. So it's been a while since I've read a visual novel. I've read two visual novels. The first, Harvest December, is really good. There was 1 month that was scary though. And the other one I read was Doki Doki Literature Club, and I don't have to say anything about that. So my hope for this little visual novel I'm reading, it's not scary. I was having that dream once again. That dream. Same thing every night. The message that everyone is 18 plus and the game has their consent. Makes you think this game is nudity or something. Well, this is a version that has none, I think. Oh, that'll be another thing. If this game does have nudity, then it's done. I'm not gonna stream the rest of it. So, proceed carefully, I guess. The same thing every night. But it's all forgotten in the morning, as usual. Maybe it's for the best. Only a glimpse of memory will remain, of gates half opened, as if inviting me somewhere, with 2 frozen stone pioneers standing close by. And also that strange girl, who keeps asking me. Like my boobs? Sorry. Will you come with me? Come? But where? And why? And where am I anyway? Of course, if it all happened in real life, I would certainly have been scared. What else would one expect to feel? But this is just a dream. The same one I see every night. There must be a reason. You don't have to know where or why to realize something is really happening. Something desperately seeking my attention. Since everything that surrounds me here is real. As real as things in my own flat. I could open the gates, hear the hinges creak, brush the crumbling rust away with my hand, inhale the fresh cool air, and shiver from the cold. What are these? Button. I'm not gonna worry about those now. I could, but to do that I would need to pick myself up, take a step, move my hand. But this is a dream. I understand that, but what of it? What does my understanding change? Because here it's just like on the other side of the cracked screen of an old TV, which struggles to fight against static noises and strives to show its audience everything without missing a single detail. But the picture is getting blurry. I must be waking up soon. Maybe I should ask her something? The girl. What's her name? About the stars, for instance. Why the stars, though? I'd rather ask about the gates. Yes, the gates. Hey, Girl Wolf. Welcome to the stream. How are you? How's life? Hope you had a good New Year. Same to you, Ty. She would be so surprised. Or better, why the dot over an I was called a tittle, but the dot over a J was called a superscript dot. What? Nice letters. As if they don't exist anymore. Still, what do letters, gates, and stars have to do with this place? Because even if I having this dream every night, which will be forgotten soon anyway, I've got to look for answers here and now. And there, if you look carefully, you can see the Magellanic Clouds, as if I'd ended up in the southern hemisphere. In a dream, there are the small things that catch your attention. I am good, thank you. You're good? That's awesome. My New Year's was good. We watched Hot Fuzz, I watched Holmes and Watson in the theater, and that was kinda terrible. And we had a good New Year. And then yesterday was good too. Sorry I couldn't stream yesterday, by the way. I was watching Spooderman. An unnatural color of grass, impossible curves of straight lines, or your own distorted reflection. Well, the real danger. Woo! Thank you for the 1 bit, which could put an end to everything right here and now. Seems trivial. The first bit of the year that you gave me, Girl Wolf. Woo! It's natural, since here you cannot die. I know it for sure. I've done it hundreds of times. But if you cannot die, is there a point in living? I should ask the girl. She's a local. She should know. Yes, exactly. I should ask her about the owl, for example. I hope you can join me in this journey, Girl Wolf. This is a game I've been wanting to stream since last year, but I couldn't because I didn't have much of an audience. One strange bird it is, though it doesn't matter. A little confused by what's happening, but will you come with me? And every time I have to answer, it's the only way, otherwise the dream will never end, and I will never wake up. No! I'll come with you. What is the name of the game? Everlasting Summer. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. You know what? Let's go. Every time it's so hard to decide on the answer. Where am I? What am I doing here? Who is she? And why does so much in my life depend on this answer? Or maybe it doesn't? It's just a dream after all. Just a dream. Just a dream. Whatever, right? Who gives a flying... Morning. Keyboard. QWERTY. Did you know that, guys? The first couple letters on the keyboard spell out QWERTY. Just thought you should know that. What was on that computer? What? Isn't she from LazyTown? The computer screen. Hey, Tyler Cat. I just started a forest fire in the middle of nowhere. Oh, both of you did. You guys are crazy. Well, as long as it's for the greater good or whatever. Also, welcome. The computer screen stared at me as if it was alive. Why is LazyTown here? Sometimes it really did seem to me that it was conscious of itself, had its own thoughts and wishes, ambitions, that it had feelings, could love and suffer. As if in our relationship the screen wasn't an instrument, it was me who was a lifeless piece of plastic and textilite. There is some truth in that, probably because the computer provides 90% of my communication with the outside world. Anonymous image boards, some chats from time to time, rarely ICQ or Jabber, and forums even more rarely. If you want to make a pretty cake, that's the way you take it. Or bake it. I don't know. People on the other end of the internet cable simply do not exist. All of them are simply creations of its sick imagination, an error in the source code or a kernel bug, which started living a life of its own. What if that's what my followers are? What if that's what I am? Whoa. What's this? Can't see. Can't see it. It's blurry. Okay, it's the ceiling. If one looked at my existence from the outside, such thoughts would seem crazy, and a psychologist would surely give me a bunch of sophisticated diagnosis and maybe write me a doctor's referral to the loony bin. The loony bin! Woo! I love the loony bin. Uh-huh. Window. A small apartment with no signs of repair or any semblance of order in it, and always the same view out the window on the gray megalopolis running somewhere day and night. Such are the conditions of my life. You got that? I'm living in an apartment, I guess. Well, of course it didn't all start like this. I was born, went to school, and finished it like all the others. I was accepted at a university, where I spent a year and a half trailing behind and struggling. I drifted through several jobs. Sometimes it was working out quite well. Sometimes I was even getting decent money for it. But it all felt like it was not mine, as if taken from another man's biography. I wasn't living life to its fullest. It was looping over and over in monotonous cycles. Like in the movie Groundhog Day. It's just that I had no choice in how to spend my day, every day repeating itself, the same vicious spiral. How's the music, by the way? Can you guys hear the music? A spiral of emptiness, misery, and despair. Oh, just that I had no choice in how to spend my day? Yeah. I gotcha. I gotcha, buddy. I gotcha, bro. For the last few years, I just sat in front of the screen all day. Sometimes there were menial jobs, sometimes my parents helped me. All in all, I was able to provide for myself. No wonder, really, since my needs are quite minor. I hardly ever leave my home, and my communication was with other people almost exclusively consists of online correspondence with the anonymous, who have no real name, no gender, no age. So, in brief, a quite typical life of a quite typical antisocial person of his time. Kind of Donnie Darko on a minor scale, without doomsday-related visions. What are you talking about? Maybe some highly respected author will write a novel about me, or a visual novel, and it will become a contemporary classic of modern literature. Or I will write one myself. However, what's the point of fooling myself? I tried many times, but couldn't even come up with a simple short story. I tried to learn many other things as well, not gifted enough to draw. Programming, got bored. Foreign languages, takes too much time. The only thing I loved doing was reading, but still I never would have called myself a scholar. Perhaps I was an ace at watching anime and a grandmaster of lame internet jokes. This game is talking about me. If I were to get paid for it, I would probably be a happier person, and a richer person too, but I doubt it would fill the hole inside me. Ooh, this looks nice. I don't like snow, but I like snow when it looks like this, you know? Today was another typical day of typical failures, typical life. Excuse me. And today is the day when I have to go to my university reunion. Frankly speaking, god damn it, Frank, I really didn't want to. What is the point? The time I spent with them was so short. However, I was persuaded by a friend, my former university mate, and one of the few with whom I kept in touch with other than the internet. See, looks nice. Huh, what's this? Yeah, I like this. Nice, snowy streets and stuff. Was that me? Do I have a beard? Am I rocking a beard? These are creepy footsteps. There I am. That's me, guys. A frosty evening. But bus stop, waiting. I never like winter. Though hot summer is not my season either. It's just that I see no reason to point out any time of the year. Wait, point out any particular time of the year. Doesn't matter what the weather is outside when you stay at home 24/7. The bus today was running so late that I was about to curse it all and spend my last few hundred rubles for a taxi. The idea of just returning home didn't cross my mind for some reason. As usual, millions of thoughts flew through my mind, but there was not a single useful one to seize on. Such a thought that you could bring into existence, give up shape, turn it into an idea, and put into practice. Maybe I could start my own business? But where would I get the money from? Or maybe I could go back to working in an office. Don't do that. No way. Maybe I should try freelancing. But what skills do I have? Who would want me after all? No one. I suddenly remembered my childhood, or rather my teen years, the time when I was 15, 17 years old. What? Why exactly those years? No idea. I guess it's because back then everything was much more simple. It was easier to make decisions, so complicated now and so simple then. Waking up in the morning, I knew exactly how my day was going to pass. I always eagerly looked forward to the weekend. Then I could get some rest and have time for things I liked. Computer, football, going out with friends. And then at the beginning of the next week, I'd take up my studies again. Back then, there was no such worrying questions like, why? Who needs it? And what will change if I do it? Or what will not change? You, me, and Ty and Maloha are burning. Oh my gosh. What are you guys doing in Pixelmon right now? A simple lifestyle, so casual for any normal person and so odd to myself today. That careless childhood age. It was almost then that I met my first love. Her appearance and personality have vanished from my memory. Only her name remains, like a brief line from a social network profile, along with the feelings which overwhelmed me when I was with her. Affection, tenderness, the desire to care for her and to protect her. Sadly, it didn't last long. Today, I can hardly imagine something like that happening. I would probably like to meet a girl, but I don't know how to start a conversation. What on earth to discuss and how to attract her? Well, I haven't met any suitable girls for a long time. But where could I meet one anyway? I don't know. The sound of an engine brought me back to reality. A bus pulled over. There was something abnormal about it, I thought. Then again, it doesn't matter. Only the 410 runs this route. That's right. Only the 410. Bus is kinda red. I'm sure that's normal. Streetlights pass by me. It's as if their cold light sparks inside of me, trying to ignite feelings long dead. Or maybe not ignite, just awaken them. Because those feelings, they had been living in me for a long time, slumbering and waking up again. The driver's radio was playing some very familiar tune, but I wasn't listening to it. I was watching the cars pass through the fogged-up window. Look at all the peoples, guys. Look at all the snow. It's a snowy town. Because people are always rushing somewhere, chasing something they need, stuck in their own little worlds. Why would they care about mine? They probably have their own serious problems, or maybe they have much easier lives. You can't know for sure, since all people are different. Or are they? Sometimes someone's actions can easily be predicted, but if you try to look inside his soul, you will see impenetrable darkness. The bus was approaching downtown, and my thoughts were interrupted by the bright city lights. Hello, QM42. Welcome to the stream. How are you? Hope you had a good New Year's. Hundreds of billboards, thousands of cars, millions of people. I watched this light show, and somehow I got terribly sleepy. Good night. Good night, everyone. My eyes closed just for a moment, and then... magic. magic happened. There's the opening. I like the music here. Finally, I became a moderator? You mean you did? Or me? Alright, so there's a bunch of girls here, guys. Which one should I woo? Which one should I date? Maybe this one? Purple-haired girl? Aiha? Ah! No, don't do that. Don't show little girls' panties, please. Please don't. Didn't it say that all girls were 18 plus? How's she 18 plus? What are you doing, you ask? You're having fun? Hey, look, it's Miku. Blue-haired girl reminds me of Hatsune Miku. Is that Techna from Winx Club? Sure, why not? Why not? Let's have a Winx Club person in here. This content too old for you? No way. Day number 1. Friends. Friends. We're all friends. Bright daylight struck my eyes. At first I didn't pay attention as I wasn't fully awake yet. Date the purple-haired girl? Maybe. On their own, my legs carried me toward the door. Damn. Semyon. Damn, looks like I fell asleep and missed my stop. But there was no door. I looked around the bus and realized that it wasn't a good old worn-out Liaz. Instead, the bus was an Icarus model, a new one. I froze in shock. How? What? Am I dead? Have I been kidnapped? No, I must be dead. I patted myself down feverishly, slapped myself painfully in the face a few times. Are you some kind of Japanese cartoon lover? No, I do like animes though. I do like the animus. Banged my forehead on the back of one of the bus seats. It's clear. Either I'm still alive or you can still feel pain when you're dead. Oh, that would suck if that could happen. But how could this happen? Maybe I slept for too long and ended up at the bus depot. And then what? Did they just put me onto another bus? I rushed out and took a look around. Greenery wherever I looked. Tall grass on the roadside, trees, flowers. Summer. But how? It was winter just a moment ago. My head was aching unbearably, as if it was going to explode. Slowly, I began to remember. Yeah, remember, guys? Oh, look at this. Winter, summer. I date everyone and become the guy that has so many girlfriends. I should. If that's an option, I'll try. A long road running off into the distance. Forests, plants, fields, lakes, and forests again. I think I was sleeping, but then how can I remember all of it? And then, a gap. There's a gap? Oh, good, I need some new clothes. Some girl leaned over me. She softly whispered something into my ear. Then a gap again. Oh, there's 2 gaps. Are they competing gaps? And then I woke up here. Who was that strange girl? Or was she just a dream? For some reason, thinking about her made me feel better and calm down a little. I felt warmth all over, coming from the inside. Could it be her who brought me here? Then I need to find her. And the best place to look for her is away from here. I rushed to the left, then to the right, then stopped, hesitating over where to go. Finally, I ran in the direction from which the bus had probably come, which was that way. Physical exercise does refresh one's mind. Thoughts become clearer. It gets a little easier to evaluate the surrounding reality. Your dad told me you need to be nice to all girls. I will, don't worry. They just can't be mean to me, that's all. Then I'll just ignore them. Not in my case, however. I was sitting on the roadside, wheezing. wheezing, trying to ease my sore throat by gulping breaths of hot air. In any case, the run did its job. The fear withdrew for a while. Maybe I really am just dreaming. Though recalling my self-harm on the bus, I immediately rejected the idea. I am neither dreaming nor dead. Is that my name? Semyon? Semyon! A narrow road ran through the field and far into the distance. That exact same road from my dream. I must be very far away from home. And it's not just that it was winter yesterday and it's summer now. It's the whole environment. Of course, summer is usually like this, green and hot. But here everything is not entirely lifelike. Everything looks like it was taken from the paintings of a Russian landscape. You heard self-harm? I don't know, I think I injured myself on the bus or something. Of a Russian landscape artist of the 19th century. The grass is just too lush. The bushes are not like what bushes should be. They are so thick you can't see anything through them. Like treetops, honestly. And the trees themselves, the forest was quite far away, but the trees looked as if they had closed their ranks and were now just waiting for the order to advance onto the field and plains. I caught my breath and looked at the bus, which was now barely visible. That was a good run. Fear overtook me once again. Those power lines. There must be people here. But what does it mean? In fact, that means nothing at all. Couldn't they have the power lines even in hell? Roasting sinners over hot coals? That's so last century. Maybe I'm living in 2D? Oh no. 2D, I'm two-dimensional! You think you'll like this game, Tyler Cat? Well, that's good. I'm liking it too. It looks good. I must have reached the point of no return, after which you should either lose your mind completely or finally try to understand what is going on. Like I said, my big goal, I'm hoping this game is not scary like the last two visual novels I read. And while I still have a choice, I should pick the second option. I slowly headed back to the bus. Of course it was scary. No, don't say that. I just said I don't want the game to be scary. But I'm not likely to find an answer in the fields or the woods, and this wretched bucket of bolts is the only kind of link that I have with the real world. Hey, it's this place from the dream, I think. I should carefully scout the area. Savonyak means outlet. A brick wall and its gates crowned with the Savonyak sign states of pioneers standing on either side. A road sign nearly showing the bus route number 410. The trip's taking a bit too long today. I smirked. A person may start acting inappropriately in extreme situations. Something like that is probably happening to me now. This place didn't look abandoned at all. No rust on the gates, no damage to the walls. Savonyak. What could have a name like that? Judging by the pioneer statues, it could be a kid's summer camp. Moreover, it appears to be open. Of course, the simplest explanation, logically speaking, explains nothing at all. The strange girl, the altered bus, summer, the pioneer camp. Thousands of theories went through my mind instantly, from alien abduction to lethargic sleep, from a hallucination to time and space shift. None was worse than any other, but there was really no way to pick a single one. Then it occurred to me, I can try to make a phone call. I took out my cell phone and dialed the first number from my contact list. Beep, 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 beep. But instead of signal strength bars, the screen was showing a thick cross. Alright, maybe there may be no signals in such a remote place. So scary and has self-harm. Yeah, Doki Doki. Like I said, that was the last visual novel I played. So I'm hoping none of that here. Is there a save button, by the way? I want to click these buttons and see what they do now. Oh. What's this? Oh, save. Yay! I saved the game! What does this button do? Main menu, load, settings. Skip? No. We will not be skipping. And what's this? Oh. Load. We can load a game. Okay, I know what the buttons do now. Though I cannot be the only one who came here. Buses don't drive themselves. Yo, bus driver! What the bleep? I examined the bus from all sides to make sure that it wasn't a hallucination. Bits of dirt on the bottom, some rust here and there, faded paint and worn out tires. No, this is definitely a very ordinary Icarus. Icarus, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, exactly the kind of bus which takes you to places beyond your understanding if you carelessly fall asleep. Achievement get, I saved the game. Yes! Oh, thank goodness for that. I gave a nervous chuckle. It came out by itself, sporadically. What? Because this wasn't the right place or time to laugh. But where on earth is the driver? I cautiously sat down on the curb. Curb? That's not how you spell curb, but good attempt there. Beside the bus and started to wait. My patience didn't last long. My anxiety seems to have reached its peak, and I started to go slightly mad. In such a situation, anyone would have probably felt something similar. Aliens and parallel universes were gone from my imagination, leaving only void and darkness. Is this how everything will end? How my life will end? But I wanted to do so much. There were so many things that I had no time for yet. I was overwhelmed by this idea. This was definitely the end. But why? It's not fair. Surely I'm no worse than anyone else. God, why? God, forgive me. Morning. Tears were burning my eyes unbearably. Oh, there's leaves now. Were these leaves always here? I curled up and started rolling in the grass. Why? What did I do? Why me? But my cries were only heard by the speechless statues of the pioneers and a bird on a tree, which immediately flapped its wings and took off, crying out something in its own bird language, as if laughing at the idiot who dared to interrupt its after-dinner nap. I was left breathless from weeping and just laying quietly, sobbing occasionally. After a while, I managed to pull myself together. My mind cleared up a bit, as if terror and the fear of death gave me a little break. All in all, if someone wanted to kill me, what is all this for? It doesn't look like an experiment either. If this is just some crazy coincidence, then there's probably no threat. Anyway, for now it seems there's no danger. The panic was soon gone. Of course, the blood was still pounding in my temples, and my hands were still shaking, but at least I could think clearly now. Right now, there was nothing I can really change anyway. So no matter how much I think or how mad I get, it would only make things worse. Until some actual facts appear, there is really no point in making guesses. In any case, I won't learn anything by lounging about here. Can we go in? Go in the park? This camp, if of course it really is a camp, looked like the only place where people could be. So I decided to go there, and hardly had I reached the gates when a girl came out from behind them, wearing a pioneer uniform. My logic didn't let me down this time. Then again, a pioneer uniform in the 21st century? And then again, a girl here? I froze, unable to take a step. I felt very much like running away. Running as far away as I could from this place. Far from this bus, gates, statues, and far from this bloody bird with its siesta. Just running, free like the wind, faster and faster, waving to the planets passing by, winking at the galaxies, running, becoming a pulsar ray, and turning into a vestigial radiation, running to face the unknown. Run no matter where, as long as it's far away from this place. Meanwhile, the girl came closer and smiled. I could not help but notice her beauty, even though I was trembling with fear. Human instincts work independent of conscious, and while only 5% of the brain is responsible for cognitive processes, the remaining 95% are always busy sustaining life, and in particular, ensuring stable functioning of the hormonal system. What the heck? I desperately wanted to get less complicated and stop thinking in formal quotes from an encyclopedia, though my thoughts appeared one by one, being stupid, out of place, as if taken from an internal monologue of the hero of some junky softcover crime fiction book. A pretty Slavic face, long braids that looked like 2 armfuls of fresh hay, and blue eyes you could drown in. "Hi, you must have just arrived." I'm not gonna ignore her. Yeah. Alright then, welcome. She smiled broadly. Strange. It looked like if I had just a normal girl in front of me. Bah, I shouldn't have returned here. The woods, the fields seem better. But what should I do next? Try to speak with her as if she was a human, or run away, or what? The blood was pumping unbearably in my head, tearing it apart from the inside. A little bit more, and the poor pioneer girl would be splattered with the gruesome contents of my skull. Sheesh. What's so funny about that? The girl looked me over. It sent shivers down my spine, and my knees started to tremble. Nothing. Great, then. Great. What's so great about that? Suddenly, a thought crossed my mind. To hell with it all. Forget all about the bus behind me. The fact that it was winter yesterday and summer today. I wanted to rip off my itchy sweater and just accept that all this is actually happening. Everything is as it should be. All this is for the best. Would you happen to know? You should go to our camp leader. She'll tell you everything. Look, you go straight ahead to the square, then turn left. You'll see several small cabins. She pointed at the gates as if I knew what was behind them. Dmitrievna is a patronymic, derivative of person's father's name, by Russians after the person's first name as a sign of respect or formal address. Well, you can ask someone where Olga cabin is. Got it? Of course I didn't. Well, I've got to go now. The girl waved her hand at me and disappeared through the gates. It seemed as if to her I was something ordinary, and all this show with the bus and the travels, while awake or asleep, were troubling only to me. Well, everything here is just the way it's supposed to be. Camp leader, pioneer uniform. What, are they doing a historical reenactment here? I hope I won't find Lenin standing atop an armored car in this square. Who? But even that would not surprise me right now. After standing alone for a while, I headed into the camp. A mere 50 meters ahead is a small one-story house, popped up on the left side. Oh man. The sign near the door said, "Clubs." I was about to come closer. Hey, there's the purple girl, Tyler Cat, the purple-haired girl, when the door suddenly opened, and a short girl wearing a pioneer uniform came out. Her pretty face gave me the impression of one suffering for the fate of the whole of mankind with a truly universal sorrow. As soon as she saw me, the girl froze, as if frightened. I froze too, considering what was the best to do. Approach first or wait until she showed some initiative. Or maybe run away after all. Although this last option was constantly being suggested only by my self-preservation instinct. At least that's what I'd like to believe. Not the worst human instinct, but far from the most logical. If this instinct played poker against deductive abilities, the outcome would be predetermined. And those deductive abilities, or at least their semblance, were hinting to me that there was no need to be afraid of this girl. What? Suddenly, somebody jumped out of the nearby bushes. There's a little girl. A girl wearing a bright red t-shirt with USSR written on it. Such perfect reproduction of the age. She looked quite short from a distance and was probably younger than both pioneer girls. The one at the gates and this girl at the door of the clubs. At last I decided to come closer, but the USSR, as I called her in my mind, jumped towards the first girl and started telling her something while wildly waving her arms. The other girl in turn seemed confused and lowered her gaze, remaining silent. I would have probably continued to observe their amusing dialogue, but the USSR suddenly pulled something out of her pocket, started waving it in front of the first girl's face. This something turned out to be a grasshopper. Eee! The first girl squealed. She must not be too keen on insects, as she instantly rushed off. Ulta, you're scared your laptop crashed? Oh no. Maybe just too much data. Maybe you take it easy, like don't do too much on it for a little bit. and she instantly rushed off toward the place where Lenin presumably made his speech about the workers' and peasants' revolution. That is to say, toward the square. The USSR glanced at me, grinning playfully, and dashed after her. Not a bad start to the day. I have absolutely no clue where I am. Besides that, there are some kids here role-playing as pioneers. And as far as I can tell, this place is located thousands of kilometers away from my house. It might even be a different reality. And this was indeed a reality. I mean, everything around me seems so real, if a little embellished, that I was starting to think that, in fact, my previous life could have been just a dream. And what am I supposed to do now? Just attend camp like a normal person. I was picking up the cracked paving stones with my shoe and stared aimlessly at the club's building. Just a few more seconds before I have to come up with some decision. That's when I recalled myself rolling on the grass, weeping. The USR dashed toward me. The Soviet Union, no, just a little girl with a USSR shirt. It's fine, Tyler Cat, don't worry. I cringed in disgust. Perhaps it's another instinct. When all energy for whimpering and self-pitying is used up, the body either goes into hibernation or mobilizes its reserves. Mine seems to have chosen the second option, because out of the blue, I found the determination to figure out what was going on. And in order to do that, I had to act like a man, like a human, to maintain the dignity of a representative of my own world. A man. Gotta act like a man. I followed the path to the left, on the right side of which stood small cabins, apparently the homes of the local pioneers. Actually, they look quite cozy from the outside. Even though I was born in the Soviet Union, I'm guessing this takes place in Russia, guys. I have never been part of its children's organizations, neither the pioneers nor even the younger October children. I imagine the daily life of the typical pioneer camp a bit differently. Huge barracks with long rows of metal bunks. Wake up call at 6 o'clock, played by a siren. 1 minute to make your bed, then join the formation at the drill square. Or wait, could I be confusing it with something else? Suddenly something struck me on the back. I staggered but remained on my feet, turned around and prepared to fight heroically for my life. But all I found was another girl standing before me. My mouth hung open in surprise. Pick your jaw up off the ground. I closed my mouth. The same pioneer uniform, but the way she was wearing it looked, let's say, provocative. Like all the girls I had met here before, this one was rather cute, but her overly arrogant expression killed any desire to get to know her better. New here, are you? Fine, see ya. She threw a threatening glance at me and walked past. I waited for the pioneer girl to turn at the corner. Who knows what else she might have been up to. The most interesting thing was that even this hostile girl seemed completely normal to me. She did not give off the feeling of some deadly danger. Except maybe the danger of getting punched in the nose. At last I managed to make it to the square. There was no Lenin on the armored car, although one could easily expect something like that after all this had happened. Instead, however, a monument to a certain comrade towered in the middle of the square. The letters on the pedestal read, Genda. Must be some big day for the party. There were some small benches on the sides. It's quite pleasant here. Where did that girl tell me to go? To the left or to the right? To the left, to the right, to the left, to the right? Then why am I going there anyway? Alright, I've decided to pretend to be normal. So, to the right! To the right, to the right. Through a small groove. I came out at a pier. Oh, this looks nice. I must have taken a wrong turn. Hey, wrong way! I turned toward the voice. Hello? The first girl stood before me. Now what did I tell you? Take a left at the square, wasn't it? She had changed from her pioneer uniform into a bikini. Oh, I still haven't introduced myself. My name is Slavia. Slavia. Yeah. Actually, my full name's Slavanya. But everyone calls me Slavnya. So you can too. Yeah. I still felt a bit confused, so I could not come up with more meaningful answers. And what's your name? I felt like she could see right through me. Yeah, Semyon. Nice to meet you, Semyon. Alright, I'm almost done here. Could you wait here for a minute? I'm going to go change and we'll go to Olga Dimirova together. Agreed? Agreed. After this exchange, she ran off. I sat on the pier and let my feet hang into the water. I was wearing heavy winter boots, but in such weather there was nothing wrong with getting my feet wet. Furthermore, it let me cool myself a little. Looking at the river, I was brainstorming and processing everything that has happened. This is some kind of conspiracy. It's a weird one, even too friendly at times. No, it really looks like more of a random event. Some entirely incomprehensible random event. Shall we go? Slavia was standing beside me, dressed in the pioneer uniform again. Let's go. I've been here for a very short time, but of all the people I've met, she looks the least suspicious. However, this fact is already suspicious itself. We walked to the square. The USSR girl and the girl who hit me on the back were there, chasing each other. Is this some kind of game they're playing? Olyana, enough running. I'll tell everything to Olga. Aye aye, Captain. Wait, is that little girl? Aye aye, Captain. I decided not to question Slavia for a while. Slavia. I gotta get these names right. For a while about what was going on, or the local residents. Better meet with the mysterious Olga first. I'm not gonna say the last name, it's too tough for my meager English human brain. Sounds like she's the boss here. We walked past the rows of almost identical cabins, some of which looked like fat beer barrels, while others looked more like household sheds. Finally, Slavia stopped in front of the smallish one-story cabin. Indeed. So what do you guys think so far? What do you think of this game? Let me stretch a little bit. It looks nice. We don't really have much of a story yet. We met some of the girls. I don't know, guys. I might like this game. We haven't seen any nudity or anything either. And no scares. It looked like an artist's painting. The faded paint chipped here and there with age was sparkling in the sun. The window shutters, slightly ajar, were swaying almost unnoticeably in the wind, and huge lilac bushes were growing at the sides. It seemed as if this ramshackle hut was drowning in a storm of purple silk and lilacs. Too bad. Nice that you like the game, though. What do you mean, too bad? That I won't be returning the Pixelmon for some time, but I'll be back. Don't worry. I need to see, like, more stuff, you know? You gotta expand my repertoire. I don't know what I'm saying. Destroyed the troop leader's house. What are you standing around for? Let's go. A bit of horror and 80 plus is always fun. I don't want horror, though. Horror's good for Halloween. Let's go. Slavia, snap me out of my daydreaming. And stop teasing Lena already. Who's Lena? What? What? No, come on. Rena? Guys, what was that? Guys. Well, alright. I just pooped myself. Why was that there? Why was that there? Now you guys like this game. Hey Alex, welcome to the stream. Okay, I'm on edge now. Thanks, game. Indeed, a moment later the door swung open, and Olyana ran out and dashed past with the same mischievous grin. Thank gods of everlasting summer. I may have broken your thing. Uh-oh, what thing? What did I break? Sorry. The pigtail girl came out next. Don't let it bother you, Lena. That scared me. Gotta be thankful it's not Rena, at least. What are you talking about? Wasn't that Rena from Higurashi When They Cry, by the way? The jump scare lady? Not cool game. But I don't. Instead of finishing her sentence, you wasn't watching, but you heard Ulti scream and started laughing your head off. Okay. She blushed and quickly headed toward the square. For some reason, I felt like turning and following her with my eyes, but Slavia said, "Come." We entered the cabin. Inside it looked something similar to what I'd imagined. 2 beds, a table, a couple of chairs, a simple carpet on the floor, a wardrobe. Nothing special, but at the same time it felt home-like. A cozy, that's not how you spell cozy. Although this room was almost in the same state of disorder as my own flat. I may have broken my heart. Oh, I'm sorry. Just calm down. I'll calm down too with you. This game, hopefully, that's the last one. Like, it was just a reference thing. Cause Higurashi, when they cry, that's a scary anime. So, let's throw in a Higurashi reference, why not? Almost was in the same state of disorder as my own flat. The girl standing near the window appeared to be about 25 years old. Nature had obviously gifted her with a pretty face and a good body. At least one thing can keep you happy in this pandemonium. The locals are beautiful. You're finally here. Excellent. My name is Olga. I'm the camp leader. Nice to meet you. I'm Semyon. I decided to talk as if I wasn't surprised by anything that was going on. She came closer. Back off. We've been expecting you since early morning. You've been expecting me? Yes, of course. And when does the next bus come? And why do you need it? Yeah, right. Why would I need it? Think you woke your neighbors up? You had your window open? Uh-oh. Always close your windows. Good thing my windows were closed. Guess I shouldn't ask direct questions. The people here may react to them quite unlike how I'd prefer. And I doubt I'd get any answers. No reason, just curious. By the way, where are we exactly? Our mailing address, I mean. I wanted to send a letter to my parents to tell them I got here fine. For some reason, I had the desperate idea that if I played along, I would find something out. Oh, but your parents just called half an hour ago. Sent their regards to you. Now that's a surprise. So, can I call them? Because I forgot to tell them something before I left. No. She gave me a sweet, spontaneous smile. Why not? We don't have a phone here. Then how could my parents make a call to here? I just come back from the district's central town. I talked with them there. Ah, so that's how it is. And can I somehow get to the town? No. She kept the same smile. Why not? Because the next bus only comes in a week. I decided not to inquire how the troop leader managed to get there and back. I would get no answer anyway. All this time, Slavia was standing next to me and seemed to find nothing in our conversation. Oh, we need to find a uniform for you. I've got absolutely no desire to put on pioneer shorts or wear the ridiculous red neckerchief. However, wearing winter clothes in summer isn't a great idea either. Right, thank you. I wonder if I'm the only one here who finds it strange that someone's wearing a coat and winter boots in such heat. Righty-o, I'll be off then, and you can get yourself acquainted with the camp. Don't forget to come to dinner in the evening. Okay. Having said that, she walked out of the cabin. No, walked is not the right word. She rushed out. I ended up alone with Slavia. I must go too. Got things to do. Take a walk, look around the camp a bit. See you in the evening. If there is no threat or catch to this, then this reality, as embodied by Slavia, becomes more and more appealing. For the first time today, I realized that it was awfully hot here, although obviously my winter clothes were to blame for that. I took off my coat and dropped it onto the bed. My pullover followed it. I was now wearing only the shirt. That's much better. All I could do now was follow their advice and go look around the camp. I'll try and find something out in the meantime. Passing the local residential district, I saw a pioneer guy coming my way. Look at this guy. And it was really a pioneer guy, not a pioneer girl. Apparently there were men even in this kingdom of Amazons. Hello, you're new here. You must be Semyon, right? And how do you... Whoa. And everyone knows here. I'm Electronic. Electronic, by the way. What? You can call me that. Electronic was a robot character appearing in popular Soviet film and book series. He looked like an exact copy of a school kid called Sergei Cheezkov. Tch, okay. Things were going from crazy to completely insane. Alright. Ulyana also calls me Cheesy. Cheesy? On toast with mushrooms? Because my last name is Cheezkov. I see. Let me show you around. I accepted his offer as it would have taken much longer to get to know this place alone. Fine, let's go. We ended up at the square again, as if this place was all there is to this camp. Lena was staring at one of the benches reading some book. Electronic was confidently approached her. Hello, Lena. Meet the new guy, Semyon. She started briskly. Hello. Hello. Well, you could say we've already met in a way. Yes. She looked away from the book for a moment, glanced at me, blushed, and went back to reading, as if not noticing that we were still here. Alright, let's go on. I was at first surprised that meeting this girl was reduced to a couple of words, but I thought that it was better that way. Electronics' vigorous activity did not fit well with Lena's shyness. Let's go. Next we came to a building, which I instantly identified as a canteen. And this here, I know, this is where you consume organic food. Yes, something like that. On the canteen's porch stood the unfriendly girl who hit me on the back earlier. At the sight of her, my joking mood vanished in the blink of an eye. Really, now is not the best time to be pulling this guy's leg, even though he is quite hilarious. First I need to figure out what's what here, or at least where I am. Hey, over there, that's Alyssa. Name. Be careful around her. He spoke in a whisper. Don't ever risk her calling Devcha. She doesn't like that. Diva means two in Russian. The whole nickname sounds exactly like Tush in Russian. Reference to the late something anonymous image board. Okay. What did you say? What did you call me? She must have heard him. In the blink of an eye, Alyssa jumped down from the porch and dashed toward us. Alright, you'll manage from here onwards. Electronic took to his heels. Run after him, do nothing. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Guess we can go be on our own for a while. Alyssa, running past, stopped for a moment and growled. I'll deal with you later. Deal with me? What did I do wrong? I added a forced guilty smile to my words. But what am I guilty of? She made no reply and carried on chasing Electronic. What weird names these are, huh? But I suppose the Russians think our names can be weird, you know? Like Ultima, Tyler Cat, Alex Ferraria. Like, what? Even though they're normal names from here. Whew, looks like I'll have to kill time alone waiting for dinner. I decided to go east, at least in the direction where east would be in my world. Ooh, look at this. Sport place. Soon after, I found myself near a football pitch. The game was in full swing here. I guess watching it for a bit wouldn't do any harm. In my childhood and teen years, I was not a bad player myself, and even thought of going professional. But a few injuries in a row killed my desire to risk my health for the sake of uncertain chance in the game. Kind of kids of different ages were running around the pitch. I could see a boy of about 10 and a girl of about 14 years old. A girl. Hey, that's Ulyana. Alright, so she plays football. What's so surprising? She seems a restless one after all. I was standing quite far from the pitch, but she still noticed me. Hey you! Ulyana shouted. Wanna play? I didn't know how to answer. On the one hand, running around for 10 minutes is no big deal. On the other hand, any wrong move in my situation could be my final one. But in any case, my attire wasn't suitable for this weather. If I played in winter boots and warm jeans, I would sweat like a pig. And playing barefoot and without jeans would be simply unethical. Maybe another time, alright? I shouted in response, turned around and walked back. I was followed by Ulyana's screams about my pants or about me being a pansy or something like that. You freaking idiot! Evening was falling, making me feel tired and empty after a day of wasted with no real purpose. Stay hydrated, but hey, thank you. Thank you for the message. Good to see you today. I came back to the square, sat down on a bench, and gave an exhausted sigh. Like that. I'd better sit here and wait for dinner. After all, it's easier to search for answers when you're not hungry. They do give food to the people here, right? Nope. You know, it's curious how the simplest human needs can break the will to ponder on things, to strive for something. For example, I feel hungry now, so I care much less about where I am or what is happening to me. I guess you're not playing Pixelmon? Aww. I guess you can watch the stream. Comment on the hilarious things happening. Warn me if there's any jump scare coming up. Could great people also be affected by this? Sorry about the Pixelmon and the computer timing you out or whatever. It sucks. And in that case, how did Spartacus start the slave uprising in ancient times? I can only conclude that I am not a great person, and it does not really matter which mechanism I serve as a gear in, society, the Matrix, or a weird pioneer camp. Okay, my thoughts were interrupted by the sound of bells that wasn't a bell, chiming from a loudspeaker on a light pole. It must be the dinner call. I headed toward the canteen. It was a good thing that now I knew where it was. Olga was there, standing on the porch. Excuse me. I stopped and looked closely at her, as if I was expecting something. She looked back at me for a while, but at last came closer. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Okay. Just had to wipe my nose and stuff. She looked back at me for a while, but at last came closer. Yeah, I read that. Semyon. Semyon. I'm not saying Semyon, by the way. Like, Nyan! What are you waiting for? Come in already. Guess nothing bad can happen if I go with her. My stomach backed me up here. Whoa, look at all these kids. The two of us went inside. The canteen looked like a canteen. I had a chance to visit a factory canteen at some point in my life. This one was exactly the same, just maybe a bit cleaner and more modern. Metal chairs and tables, glazed tiles on the walls and on the floor, unsophisticated tableware with the occasional crack. Guess that's what a canteen in a pioneer camp's supposed to look like. Semyon, wait a moment. We'll find you a place to sit. She looked around the place. Hold it right there. Olga shouted at Alyssa, who was passing by. What? What's up with your clothes? Anything wrong with them? Indeed, her attire looks somewhat provocative. Get your uniform nice and neat right now. All right. Alyssa got her shirt right and walked past, shooting an unpleasant glare at me. So, where can we find you a place to sit? There weren't a lot of free seats. Go over there, next to Uliana. Yeah, it's fine. The food's already on the table, too. I had no other choice but to accept. Of course, there was the probability that the cutlets were poisoned with curare, the mashed potatoes generously seasoned with arsenic, and the glass filled with excellent antifreeze instead of compote. Cutlet is mincemeat, fried or baked in the shape of a ball or a cylinder. Patties. Compote is a drink made by boiling fresh or dried fruit in a large amount of water. Compote in French. Well, that sounds good. What do you guys think? Do you think these are foods you'd like in drink? But it all looked so tasty that I had no choice to resist. Hey! Excuse me. What do you want? I replied rather rudely to Uliana, who was sitting next to me. Why didn't you play football with us? Because of my clothes, said I, pointing at the source of the problem. Oh, all right then. Eat. Excuse me. However, there wasn't much left to eat. My cutlet was missing from the plate. Only she could have done it. No, more precisely, none but Uliana could have done it. Give me back my cutlet. In a big family, you snooze, you lose. It can cost you a cutlet if you are careless. Give it back, I'm telling you. Attempt to take cutlet. Do not attempt to take cutlet. Well, I want my meat, so I'm gonna get my meat. I looked at her menacingly and was about to reach out my hand.
See, I don't have it.
And indeed, Ilyana's plate was empty. It seems that this little girl eats as fast as she steals someone's cutlets.
Take it easy, we'll work something out now.
She grabbed my plate and ran off. There was no point in following her. If they wanted to poison me here, they could have done it in a much easier way. About a minute later, Ilyana returned and handed me the plate with a steaming hot cutlet on it. Ooh, that's a lot of rice though, or mashed potatoes.
Here's one for the starving.
Thanks. It was all I could say. I was so hungry that my suspicions were gone in a flash. I picked up the cutlet with my fork and... Oh, jeez. What the? Some bug. No, not a bug. An insect. It's got legs and it's wiggling. The plate fell to the floor and broke into pieces. The chair hit me hard on my leg while falling. I dislike insects since I was a child. But when these creepy crawlies appear in my plate, that's just way too much. You little... Ilyana seemed ready for a twist. Such a twist it was already at the door, laughing as if she just heard a fresh stand-up comedy joke. I dashed after her. We ran out of the canteen. We were just a few dozen meters apart, and I felt like I would catch this little girl easily. We ran through the square, past the club's house, and ran onto the forest path. I started to gasp for breath. I should have quit smoking, I guess. Ilyana passed out of sight on the next turn. It can't be true that she managed to get away from me. It simply can't. I stopped and tried to catch my breath again. Meow. Hey, Selene. How you doing? You missed it, Selene. You missed something. Finally, it's summer. Yeah, it's finally summer. Night was falling, and night's falling, Selene. How are you doing? How was your thingy? Your New Year's, your final New Year's day of 2018. Looks like I'm lost. It's a bad idea to stay in the woods at night. Better get to the camp. However, I had absolutely no clue which way to go. Well, gotta choose at random. That was very good. That's good. I'm happy for you. Here's to a very good 2019 as well. You kicked chili with friends. We had talks, hugs, board games. Aww, sounds awesome. And Tyler Cat got on the Pixelmon now. Yay! Hey, Tyler Cat, wanna tell Selene what she missed on here? What upsetting thing that happened? To me, but happy for you. I wandered for quite some time in the forest and even thought of crying for help. But I finally saw the camp's fence beyond the trees. Everything fell back into place. The bus is gone, I mumbled quietly. On the other hand, there was nothing strange about that. The bus couldn't just stay here forever. There forever. On the other hand, it meant there was someone driving, because buses do not drive themselves. Or do they? This world seemed too normal. But every event here had at least two explanations for it. An ordinary, real, everyday explanation, and a surreal one. Certainly the driver could just have been off for a snack, and I left too soon, and that's why. In any case, this is not the place for me. Whether that bus drives itself or not was probably an important question, but it was much more important to know that I had got here at all. And where this here was, the fields and the woods stretched toward the horizon, had no answers. There was nothing familiar about them. A strange, odd, and alien world. However, at the same time it was absolutely not frightening. Except for the one time it was frightening. Either my self-preservation instinct decided to resign from its job, or all this running around the camp and the local pioneers had lulled me to so much with their carefree normality. Yes, the game did it, Selene. It was the game. The game jump-scared me. That I was simply forgetting what had happened to me just a couple of hours ago. Poor Ulti, I don't deserve that, exactly. Although I probably just had no strength left to worry. All I wanted was some peace, calmness. I wanted to just have a break from it all. And only after that I would continue to look for answers ready and reloaded. Yeah, however, that would be some time later. And what about now? Can I allow myself to relax? Yes. Ooh. This is nice. I like summer nights, guys. It got completely dark in 2 seconds, and in any case it was better to spend the night in the camp. I was about to head back when somebody came up silently from behind. Hello, what are you doing here so late? It was Slavia standing before me. I was so surprised that I jumped. Eee! So you didn't catch Ulyana, did you? She smiled. I nodded disappointedly and sighed. No wonder. No one ever has. Yeah, she's a real rocket girl. She could have found a better use for her energy than looking for adventures. You must be hungry. You didn't manage to have dinner after all. Indeed. Oh, I heard a rumble there. I had completely forgot about my hunger. But after these words of hers, my stomach drew attention to itself by giving a traitorous rumble. Slavia smiled. Let's go then. What, is the canteen still open? It's all right, I have the keys. The keys? Yes, I have keys to all the facilities in this camp. How come? Well, I'm something like the camp's leader aide here. I see. Well, let's go. It was an offer you can't refuse. This is pretty nice. When we reached the square, Slavia stopped in her tracks. Excuse me, I should warn my roommate that I'll be late. She's so punctual herself that she'll be worried otherwise. You go on to the canteen, and I'll come up in a minute, alright? Alright. I really did not expect to find somebody aside from myself there at such a late hour. And that somebody was apparently trying hopelessly to open the door. Without any secret thoughts, I walked up onto the porch. The lockpicker turned out to be Alyssa. I should have probably kept off and waited. She looked at me intently for a while, and then said, "Don't just stand there, give me a hand or something." Meaning, help me open the door. Why? 'Cause I want some buns and kefir. Dinner wasn't big enough. Is that really a good idea? Aren't you hungry yourself, huh? Ulyana didn't let you have a normal dinner, did she? She smiled sarcastically. It's true, she didn't. It's fine, Slavia will come now and... What? Guess I shouldn't have said that. I'm off then, and you'll pay for this. You owe me 2 already. Having said that, Alyssa disappeared into the night. And what was the first one? I don't know. Slavia didn't keep me waiting for too long. Is everything all right? Yeah, why are you asking? No reason, it's nothing. It would be better if I didn't tell her about Alyssa. Everything's fine. I said that and immediately heard a note of dishonesty in my voice. Well, shall we go? As for Slavia, she seemed not to have noticed anything. Or at least she was pretending she hasn't. We entered the canteen. Wait a bit, I'll go get something. I sat down on a chair and obediently waited for my savior. This is pretty nice. My dinner was simple. A few buns and a glass of kefir. Kefir is like yogurt, by the way, guys. Like liquidy yogurt. It's good. I love kefir. No wonder. I bet Hungry Pioneers finished everything off. However, even that was far better than most of my usual diet. Slavia sat across the table and looked at me while I was eating. Is there something on my face? No, just... She smiled. So, how did you like your first day in the camp? Well, I don't really know. It's silly to ask someone who suddenly found himself in a different reality whether he liked the food in the canteen, the camp leader, or his assigned hut. It's alright, you'll soon get used to it. Slavia started out the window dreamily. Check your mother. Hello, we in Russia are proud of this game. How do you like the game? Welcome, Check Your Mother. I am liking this game a lot, actually. I'm not happy with the jump scare, but aside from that, it's quite nice. Beautiful, characters are pretty cool. So, this is just the start of the game, though, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Frankly speaking, goddammit, Frank, I have no desire to get used to such things, but as for her, She doesn't know. Or at least she wants me to think she doesn't. The jump scare was the best thing so far. Oh, Ty, of course you'd say that. Of course you would say that. Well, all in all, it's nice here. That's what I have to say too about this game. It's nice here. Just no more jump scares, please. I had to somehow break the awkward silence. Do you think so? She asked without any interest. Yeah, this place is so... You forgot to clip it. Aww. I think Selene can. Isn't she? She's a mod. I think she can do that. It's up to her, though. I wanted to say retro, but I managed to hold that back. After all, it was retro for me, but what about them? It might be the only kind of life they knew, if the term life was applicable here at all. So how? She watched me closely, as if something important depended on my answer. Well, I don't know. Lovely. Yeah, it's lovely here. I guess you're right. She smiled again. It's very good that you think so. Why? Well, not everybody likes it here. And what about you? Me? Yes. I love it here. It's great. Then you don't need to worry about what the other people think. What other people think? Well, I don't really worry. Slavia laughed. This conversation seems to be leading me far astray from where I wanted to get to. And you're worried yourself. Really? Why do you say so? Well, when someone is chewing so intensely... I'm sorry. It's okay. I couldn't bring myself to be more cautious around this girl. But why her in particular? Why not any other local inhabitant? Every one of them looks completely normal to me. Precisely normal. So normal it sends chills down my spine into my marrow. Normally, not like a neighbor with a power drill in one hand and the subwoofer in the other. Subwoofer? What's that? Not like a passenger you can often meet in a subway or on a public transport. So, check your... Do you know this game at all? I guess you do. Like, did you play it a long time ago? Would be cool to meet the makers of this game. Like, their thoughts, or just a maker on any of these visual novels. Not like a co-worker at the next table in an open plan office. Plan, not plane. Ultima, you idiot. And not even like a friend who only differs from other humans in his constant insistence. All of them look normal, as if I would expect them to be, with their own downsides, but without any superpowers. And Slavia was also cute. I glanced at her stealthily, not knowing what to say. I'm sorry, I wanted to show you the camp, but it ran off my feet. I didn't miss anything while on my own, I guess. Are you sure you haven't missed anything at all? She smiled so brightly that I had to drop my eyes in confusion. Well, how would I know? It's my first day here. Okay, what have you seen so far? I've seen the square, this canteen, the football field. Why so early in the morning? Well, I always stream at this time. Remember, I stream twice a day, Pringles. Also, welcome, Pringles. How are you doing today? How's life? And what about the beach? Just from afar. You really should go there, or let's do it together. Yeah, okay, we will. Her naturalness started to scare me, but then I thought, what if everything that happens here is how it's supposed to be, and this world looks strange only to me, while for them it is normal? Maybe I was thrown into the past. Pretty good? That's good. I hope you had a good New Year's too. I hope everyone here had a good New Year's. We're starting off the New Year's with 2 new games, and this is one of them. Yes, that would explain a lot. Can I ask a stupid question? No. Congrats on 8 viewers. Thanks. Somehow I did it. Slavia smiled and stood up from the table. It's late. Can you find the way to Olga Dimitrievna's... I can't read this name, guys. I'm sorry. Dimitrievna's by yourself? Like I said, I'm just gonna read the first name because I'm a lazy twat. Of course I can, but why should I go there? She'll settle you with someone. What for? Probably this question seems stupid because Slavia burst into a good-natured laughter. You need to sleep somewhere, right? That makes sense. Fine, I'll be off then. Good night. Night. It's strange that she left in such a hurry. A bundle of keys left in the door lock caught my attention. I was going to catch up to Slavia, but where does she live? And knocking on every door during the middle of the night didn't sound like a bright idea. You know what? Let's do it. Let's take the keys. Well, what do you guys think? Should I take the keys or leave the keys? I might take the keys, but if more people say leave keys, then I'll leave the keys. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Catch a rat by your toe. If he hollers, let him go. Celine says take it too, so we'll take it. I better take them. I'll give them back tomorrow because who knows what happens here at night. Everyone's saying take. Take them! Such thoughts gave me chills. Chills that would make jump scares appear and scare the living crap out of the streamer. It's me who needs to be careful here in the first place. The night, though dark, wasn't silent at all. One could hear chirping crickets, the songs of the night birds, and rustling trees from everywhere. This is nice. Look at this view. I would chill here on this bench, just chill out, listen to the sounds of the forest and the lamp. A sudden desire to follow Slavia's advice and go to the camp leader's cabin appeared. This is nice too, I like this. I don't know why, but the sight of the unknown bronze building of communism put me in a constructive mood. I started playing Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Nice! You gotta tell me about your journey, Pringles. All about your journey with your Pika friend. I sat on the bench and started to recall everything that happened today. That was all my constructive mood could offer. Here was much brighter than near the canteen. What's this button? Does it go back? Oh, whoops. Okay. And tardy pioneers were running by, so this place didn't seem scary at all. You're 28 hours in and going into Victory Road. Well, there you go. I guess it's a fast game. You did it fastly. Bus, summer camp, girls. I was so tired from everything new and strange that I could not come up with a single explanation for what was going on. I heard a barely noticeable rustle nearby. I shivered and looked in that direction. A girl. Reading a book. Jump scare. Okay. Lena. I decided to move closer and talk. She was the only new person I had met here without exchanging even a few words. Hi, what are you reading? Lena was so surprised that she even jumped. Sorry, didn't mean to scare you. Never mind. She blushed and stared at the book again. So, what are you reading? On the cover was written, Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind. I think I know that book, Gone with the Wind. I'm gonna praise it. A good book. A crappy book. Thanks. Honestly speaking, I haven't read it, but I think that such literature suits her very well. Lena didn't seem to be interested in continuing the conversation. Well, if I'm bothering you... No, she answered while still looking at the book. Can I sit beside you for a while? Why? And really, why? Maybe just because I was very tired and having company is better than being alone. And maybe I wanted to try to find something out from her. I carefully examined Lena. But no, I doubt that. Well, I don't know. I'm not allowed to? Feel free. But if I'm bothering you... No, you're not. I can leave. Just say, everything's alright. Okay, then. I sat on the end of the bench carefully. After such an intense talk, staying here was the last thing I wanted, but it wouldn't be nice to just stand up and leave. It didn't really go well, huh? Lena hasn't answered anything. It seems I made a fool out of myself. I bet if Uliana was here, she'd have a good laugh at me. Do you enjoy being here? I recalled the Slavia's question, and thought it would be a good idea for a conversation. Yes. She smiled slightly. I guess I like it too. Lena definitely isn't very sociable, and probably can't carry on a meaningless conversation as easily as Slavia. You've got some lover vibes. Maybe this is our lover. This will be our love. Excuse me. I'm just dying, it's fine. But there was something about her that attracted attention, like a momentary glimpse of a reflection in the glass on a rainy autumn evening, which makes you turn around and stare into darkness, searching for something that you saw out of the corner of your eye. Of course, you weren't able to distinguish or understand what it was, but still felt so tempting. Lena was still reading the book without paying any attention to my presence, and I had no intention of asking her anything about this camp or this world in general. Beautiful night.
Yes.
How in a world would you start a conversation with her?
It's late. I have to go.
Yes, it's quite late.
Good night.
Night. There was something strange about this girl. At first glance, she is a typically shy and modest pioneer girl, but the mystery of Lena took its own place in the massive list of mysteries about this camp, which I had started to pull together in my head. This is certainly a visual novel. Yes, it is. It's not like Doki Doki at all. Or rather, it's the first part of Doki Doki, not the second part. Minus the one jump scare, of course. A late evening, there is nothing like a good time with nothing to do. I headed toward Olga's cabin. The light in the house was on. Heyo! Hello, Semyon. You're quite late. Yeah, I went for a walk to look around the camp. Alright, you will be sleeping here. She pointed her fingers at one of the beds. What do you guys think of this room? It's like a triangle room. Would you like to sleep in a triangle house, guys? Right here? I was a bit surprised. Yeah, is something wrong? We are out of free cabins anyway. The camp leader smiled, but I rather think it was just out of politeness. You do want to be a decent pioneer, don't you? There was a clear emphasis on the word decent. Yep, sure. I was lost in thought for a moment. Don't you mind it, mademoiselle? She looked at me oddly, with surprise and some offense in her eyes. A pioneer should respect their elders, Olga said strictly. Of course he should. No one argues with that. I blathered, not realizing what was wrong. Shouldn't you also... She stared at me. Under such a gaze, even mithril forged by the best dwarf masters could from the deepest dungeons would melt. What the heck was that sentence? I tried. Should I what? What's up, Toots? Annoyance and a lack of understanding made me raise my voice. You must address adults properly. Yes, of course, there are lots of strange things here, but this girl is just a couple years older than me. How old is my character, by the way? That's a question I do want to know. Or maybe even younger? But I decided not to argue. While just a few minutes ago I would never have called her an adult, I had to admit that she was also given a strong character, and in any case I wasn't in a position to argue. As you say, ma'am, I mumbled. That's much better. That is how a decent pioneer should conduct himself. And now it's time to sleep. Honestly speaking, I was going to become neither a decent nor an indecent pioneer. Just yesterday, I wasn't going to become a pioneer at all. But do I have a choice now? If you don't want to, we'll have to make you. This is the motto Olga was probably going to use. Interesting. I climbed onto the bed and closed my eyes, only to realize how tired I was after today. Something hammered in my head awfully, as if my brains had started a night shift, and they seemed to be aimed more at rolling steel than working on something more sensitive. Static. The bus flew through my mind. And the square with the monument. The canteen full of pioneers. And the malicious face of Uliana. Slavia. Lena. And even recalling Alyssa didn't give me too much of a negative feeling. What if I'm here for good? Day 2. Are there 7 days? Because that's when the bus is coming back after 7 days. I was having a dream. It seemed like I was in some kind of vacuum with nothing but nothing around me. But not only around, I was the only creature in the universe, as if the universe had returned to a state of singularity right before the Big Bang. And something was just about to happen. Suddenly, I heard a voice. I cannot make out the words, but it sounded familiar. The voice was whispering something gently, as if soothing me.
Jigglypuff.
Sorry. And then I realized it was the voice of that strange girl from the bus. The girl from the dream. But what is she trying to tell me? Who is she? Morning. I woke up. Ah. Bright sunlight struck my eyes. It was almost noon. After stretching lazily on the bed and yawning, I started to recall the previous day. In few seconds, all its events passed before my eyes. The bus, the camp, the local inhabitants. No, that's just wrong. Not this whole situation, not me being here. It was wrong by default. My attitude towards what was happening was wrong. Because yesterday I fell asleep here just like that. And before that I chatted nicely with the local pioneers. Even managed to crack a few jokes. How could I act like that in such a situation? I should be frightened, startled by every little rustling, should avoid all contact with the potentially hostile creatures. The last day's events were getting hazy, like I had a hangover. This really feels like the morning after a heavy drinking party. Yesterday's natural, flawless, absolute normal conduct becomes a nightmare in the morning, a grotesque illustration from the Divine Comedy. Yes, it's just like that, and I can't change the past now. Then again, I had probably assessed the situation and was acting accordingly. I glanced around trying to figure out whether I had been thrown somewhere else. The Olga cabin looked the same as yesterday. Everything seemed to be in its place, except for a pioneer uniform, which was hanging from the bedhead. I fumbled with it in distrust and tried it on. At least this is better than walking around in winter clothes. Wishing I could see myself, I bet I look like a clown. As for that, I needed a mirror. At least a tiny one. I finally found one on the wardrobe door. Holy! I looked at the newfound pioneer and jumped away in surprise. There was some teenager on the other side of the mirror. He resembled me, but he wasn't me. Where did the weak stubble go? Where were the bags under my eyes, the slouch, that deathly fatigue on my face? It seemed that I had not been thrown back in time or into a parallel reality, but instead I had simply changed bodies with someone else. Right, that's real simple. Such things happen every day. I took a closer look at this stranger, and only then I realized that it actually was me. It just wasn't today's me. Maybe the one from between my school and university years. Well, at least that's something. There you go. The person in an extreme situation did fail to notice the elephant in the room after all. But the camp leader noticed it. At last she told me off for addressing her without proper respect. Screw that. So I guess I'm younger now. There was like a transportation through time or something in space and shenanigans. Pretty interesting. I doubt my appearance affects anything else. If the clock was not lying, breakfast was long over. Oh well, I'll try to find something in the canteen. It worked out well yesterday with Slavia, didn't it? Those memories made me smile involuntarily. Excuse me. The sun was shining brightly outside, a light breeze was blowing. A beautiful summer day. I had not felt so good in the morning for several years. All problems were gone, vanished into clouds that were white as snow. Olga came out of nowhere. Good morning, Seaman. Semyon. What is wrong with me? Morning. I smiled, doing my best to show that no matter what, my morning was indeed good. Excuse me. Good God. You only arrived yesterday, so I decided not to wake you up, but breakfast. Never mind. Here, take this. She handed me something wrapped in paper. Judging by the oily stains, there had to be sandwiches inside. Okay, thank you. Now go wash yourself. I was about to leave. Wait a second. Wait a second. Olga quickly ran into the house and came out to shove a small bag into my hand. Inside it, I found a toothbrush, soap, a small towel, and something else. I did not look too closely. A pioneer should always be clean and tidy. Let me do your neckerchief properly this first time. Yours is askew. You should do it yourself once you learn how to. Do we have to? I am going to wash myself now. Yeah, right. It could get hooked on the tap and strangle me. Fine. Later then. And don't forget about the lineup. Pencils, paper, drawing lines. You don't forget such things. Borp. Hey, Solen. Nice use of Borp. What lineup? What do you mean, what lineup? She frowned. It's Monday today. Weird. By my approximation, it should have been Sunday. Then again, a shift in the day of the week is hardly the worst thing. Usually we have lineups early in the morning before breakfast, but it's Monday today, so we are having it at 12 o'clock. Don't be late. Alright, but where? At the square. Where else? There was no reason to argue. I headed to the bathing place. Uh-oh. Warning guys, if there's nudity here, it's done. Excuse me. I knew I could forget about separate showers and toilet, but at the sight of this malfunctioning system of decaying socialism, a funny turtle with a tiny shell, paw taps, and a ceramic belly, I felt sick. I was not a squeamish person, but nevertheless, standing there, I realized that there was still some minimal level of habitat comfort, which I found it troublesome to do without. It's often like that. When you lose things that you thought were ordinary and common, you suddenly understand just how essential they were. Screw this, as if I have any choice. The water was ice cold. While washing my hands was not an issue, washing my face and my mouth became a big problem. There was no toothpaste in the bag, which Olga gave me. I could brush my teeth without. As soon as you heard nudity, you opened this tab again. Oh, Ty. I think I was wrong about it. It's like a wash your face and hands place, not a bathing place. So, never mind. Did you miss any horror? Nope, no horrors. Trust me, when you hear my voice, you will know if there's horror or not. I could brush my teeth without it, but there was a small round box wrapped in the towel. Tooth powder. Cute. 1 point for me being somewhere in the past. I washed myself quite quickly, also due to the ice-cold water. Someone was coming quickly, or more like running toward me. I turned around. Ah! Oh no, it's just a girl. It was Slavia, dressed in a tracksuit. This girl would probably look good in anything. Pioneer uniform, bikini, probably even a spacesuit. Hey there. Oh, hi-yo. What's up? Good morning. Yeah. Oh yeah, real smooth. Why didn't you come for breakfast? I overslept. I said it as if I was proud about it. But Olga gave me some sandwiches. Oh, great then. Don't forget about the lineup. Yeah, sure. As if I could forget. Right, I gotta run. Enjoy yourself. She waved goodbye to me and disappeared around the path's bend. Looks like it's a couple of minutes until the lineup. I should quickly pass by my home to drop off my washing bag and eat the sandwiches, then head to the square. I swung open the door of the camp's leader's cabin and rushed inside, as if jumping into the last car of a departing train. Didn't turn out to be the best idea, because inside I found Olga Demibaba. It was changing. Please don't be nude. I froze on the spot, trying not to breathe. Finally, the camp leader noticed me. Semyon! I looked away immediately. Have you heard of knocking? Now get out! Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, that was real clumsy. Although I did enjoy the sight. Olga followed me out in a minute. So this is definitely the censored version, which is good. I would rather the censored version than seeing anime boobies. Here, take this. Now it is your home too. She handed me a key. The key. I put it in my pocket. Home. Of course, if you disregard how fantastical the current events were, this camp was far from being the worst place on Earth. But to call it home, just after one day spent here, I doubt I'll ever be able to do so. Alright, let's go. We're late. But what about the sandwiches? Just eat them on the way. We're passing along the lines of the pioneers' cabins while I was tucking into the ham sandwiches. Aw, ham sandwiches. I love ham sandwiches. And Olga kept talking and talking. She was buzzing like a game of Operation with Parkinson's. Nice. But I cared about nothing but the food. Understood. Huh? You weren't listening. Sorry. Today is the first day of your new life as a pioneer, and you should do your best so that it becomes a happy life. Yeah, definitely. I'm serious. A pioneer has many duties. Great responsibility is conferred upon him, and with great power comes great Never mind. To participate in social work, to help his juniors to study and study and study again. We here are all like one big family, and you will become a part of it. Yeah, a part. I'd even sign a party membership card if it could save me from listening to this nonsense. I hope that after your term here is over, you'll keep the most pleasant memories about our camp. Memories that will last your whole life. And when will this term end? Why do you keep asking silly things? It seems like I won't get any information from her. A shame, really. This world appears to be so friendly, but it never bothers to introduce itself to me. Perhaps now I can take things somewhat easier than yesterday? It seems like I have some unspoken ceasefire with it. It isn't trying to hurt me, but I'm forbidden from asking questions. Of course, the situation isn't a pleasant one, but what can I do about it? Bad peace is better than a good dispute. The most important thing for you now is to make the best of the time you will spend here. I'll do my best. Honestly, I was very tired of this conversation. It would be good to know where that here is, but... We came to the square. The pioneers were already lined up. What, is somebody not here yet? Nope, all here. She looked around at her brave pioneer troops. Alright, go stand somewhere. Weird. Why did she tell me there are no more sleeping places? Here we go. Here's everyone. While the chief was running her mouth about our plans for the week, I stared at the people. A few heads away from me stood Electronic. A little further, Lena and Slavia. And at the very end of the line, Uliana and Alyssa. Everyone I had met here. Olga spoke about some competition, and I turned my attention to the monument. Genda. I could not remember any revolutionary with a similar name. He had a weird posture, too, and as if he was looking around with distrust, maybe contempt, or even disdain. Probably some local leader. Daydreaming again. Slavia brought me back to reality. Olga stood nearby. Still remember the plans for the week? The plan? I will never forget the plan. Perfect. She looked at Slavia. Did you bring it? Yes. Slavia handed me a piece of paper. It's a checklist. Here are 4 tasks to check off. Do it all today. Before you start, sign up for a club. There are some clubs in the clubhouse, and a musical club in the separate building. Then visit the infirmary, and finally visit the library. Got it? Yes. The checklist seems like a good chance to find out something, since I had to go places I haven't been before. Then come on, start right now. What about lunch? Don't worry, I'll bring you more sandwiches. The checklist is more important. Good luck! They departed too fast for me to ask anything else. Missed breakfast, now I'll miss lunch too. This ain't good. Maybe I'll manage it in time somehow. Lunch starts at 1 p.m. Then again, if I go there, I might miss a place from the checklist. Okay, it's too early to go to the canteen anyway. What's this? Oh, I can choose places. Dining hall, infirmary, music club. What do you guys think? What if I can go to all these places? What's this? This is new. This is definitely new. The music club. A small one-level building was located some distance from the other camp buildings. I opened the door and entered without hesitation. Rah! No jump scare. It's okay. There were enough instruments for a whole orchestra here. Drums, guitars, even a piano. I spent some time looking closely at every instrument, wanting to guess the time period they were from. but suddenly I heard a crawling sound coming from underneath the piano. A girl, she was looking for something. She was standing on all fours and suggested pose, had to speak first. Excuse me.
Hey, who's there?
Come on, quickly, get out of this. Should stand up at the bottom.
Ouch.
Hey, it's Miku. She struggled out. Sorry, I scared you.
It's nothing. Oh, you got a checklist. You must be new here?
Yes. You're out, Selen. I'm sorry. My name is Miku. It's literally Miku. It's Hatsune Miku. Ultima, why? Because it's reading a visual novel, that's why. I didn't know that was in it. My name is Miku. No, really, I'm serious. Nobody believes me, but it's my real name. My mother is Japanese. My dad met her when he was building. Well, it wasn't him who was building. He's an engineer. Also, how are you, Faralicious? How are you doing today, my friend? Nothing, Tyler Cat. You missed something. You missed something, that's all. And I skipped forward. Hey, look at these people back here. And he was working on a nuclear power plant there. Or a dam, or a bridge. Whatever. She was talking so fast she swallowed half the words she tried to pronounce. I'm Semyon. Great, want to be in our club? It's only me here now, but it will be 2 of us then. Do you play anything? Be glad you missed it. When I became antisocial, I bought a guitar and learned a few chords, but then I forgot about it since I quit everything that required more than a couple of hours to learn. You're good? It's good. It's good to see you again. You know, I wasn't planning to do anything like that, really. Oh, it's okay. I'll teach you. Maybe a trumpet, for example? How about a violin? I know it all, honestly. There was no point in arguing with the orchestra girl, since there was only another cascade of words waiting to blast me. Hey, I'll think about it. Can you just sign it for now? Yes, sure, give it to me. Be sure to come around. I'll sing, too. I'll sing you some Japanese folk songs. Maybe if you're not into that, maybe it's something more contemporary. Sure, thanks. Gotta go now. Of course, come anytime. The end of her sentence stayed inside. It might be nice to hang around with a guitar in the evening, but in such company. I turned to leave and came face to face with Alyssa. She eyed me suspiciously. Why did you come? The checklist. Got it signed? Yes. Then move it. Alyssa went inside and I hurried to leave the place. So, I guess I can go to places, like, once. One time. So, clubhouse. I went to the clubhouse. To tell the truth, you get it's anime, but how did any of these people have so much hair on their heads? That's just how girls are. I mean, talk to Selene. She has a lot of hair on her head. Or maybe she doesn't. I've never actually seen her before. Talk to any girl. They all have a lot of hair on their head. I don't know. It's just an anime thing. Also notice how big their eyes are, too. I never really liked extracurricular activities. What about Miku? Yeah, I have no idea. She never cut her hair. At school, I used to find any excuse to skip extra classes. At university, I had no interest in participating in the student council. I wasn't interested in boxing, aero modeling, or sewing. So I came here just to check off the box. Ayo! Ooh, planes. Planes, radio, plane. Nobody was here. How do you even do that with your hair? Never cut it. I found myself in something like a hut of a junior robot enthusiast. Planes! There was wires and simply printed circuits scattered everywhere. Chips, and on the table proudly stood an oscillograph. Yeah, I heard voices from another room, and then 2 pioneers appeared. Guy and Guy. One was electronic, the other I didn't know. Hi, Semyon. We've been expecting you. It seemed he knows everything about everyone. Why were you expecting me? Well, of course, because you came to sign up for our cybernetics club, didn't you? He didn't let me answer. And this is Shurik. He's in charge here. I assume there's only 2 of you in the club? Well, you can say that it's 3 now. Shurik came up to me and assertedly offered his hand. His face was somewhat familiar. Welcome to the club. Yep. Now I'll show you around. Make yourself at home. Guys, I just wanted to... We're always welcoming new members. He said it in such a way that the anthem of the Soviet Union suddenly started playing in my head. It's amazing. Even I remember the words. In the first grade, I had a textbook with the lyrics in the back. No, I just wanted you to sign my checklist. What's the background music? Anything? Yep, you sign up to the club. We'll sign your checklist. He grinned. I was getting ready. Like, what's that noise? Do you guys hear that? I'm guessing it's just electronic stuff. Alright, gotcha. I was getting ready for a long and boring argument, but then I heard someone enter. I looked back and saw Slavia. Ah, Semyon, I hope they're not giving you any trouble. She narrowed her eyes, looking at the future of the motherland's robotics industry. I know these two. They can. Well, you know, I just need to get my checklist signed. I decided to take advantage of the situation. Yeah, look at her hair too, by the way, Farrelicious. Long hair. No problem, give it to me. Slavia took the paper and marched up to Shurik. Sign it. Hold on, we're not done yet. You're done. Sign it now. She gave Shurik such a threatening look that it made him lose every possible objection. He wrote some squiggles on the checklist. I thanked Slavia, then I moved on in a mellow mood. Look at these guys. So we know where everyone is, I guess. What's the point of visiting the infirmary? My health was fine. The fresh local air clearly did me some good. I felt fresher than usual. But I just have to visit it. I entered. Here's hoping we don't come here too often. Alright guys, here's a test. Read every letter here and see if you can. If you can't read the bottom, then you need glasses. A common infirmary, like my school's doctor's room. Hello. The middle-aged woman sat at the table. Obviously, she was a nurse. She gazed intently at me, assessing me while continuing to write something. Why, hello, Pioneer, said the nurse without being distracted from her work. Good afternoon, ma'am. I have something. Sit down, please. I looked around the room. Oh, on the couch. I sat down. Strip. She said all of it with an even tone. What for? To inspect, to auscultate, to check on your health, you know. By the way, my name is Violetta, but you can call me Viola. She turned to me. What are you waiting for? Strip. But I have no health issues. I've got this. I neatly gave her the paper. Later. She took the stethoscope off her neck, seemed like she's intended to probe me with it. But then someone knocked on the door. The nurse answered unwillingly. Come in! In a moment, the door opened widely and electronic rushed inside. Hello, I fell during the football game. Whoa, look at that. Nonsense, of course. I'm okay, but Olga... There was a massive bruise under Electronic's eye. I doubt this could be from a football injury. Sit down, I'll have a look. She sat to him. And you, pass me your checklist. The nurse quickly signed it and continued. If something hurts, come to me immediately. Pioneer. I decided not to answer and went out, closing door behind me. That nurse is surely something else. Alright, one more thing, and then I gotta end it pretty soon, guys. This is interesting, though. This is an interesting visual novel. I like it. Actually, I love reading, but spending my days in a library under the current circumstances was well beyond my scope. This is a nice little library. So I better hurry up with this checkpoint. Chickadee checkpoint. Yeah, this is a short, tiny library, but it's nice. If there was a manga section like here, that'd be cool. As I stepped inside, a memory from my childhood emerged in my head. It was very vivid. I'm 7 or 8 years old. I'm at the library with my mother. While she's looking through the books I might need for my studies, I'm sitting in the corner, looking through their collection of comic books. Back then I didn't know why they had so many, or why couldn't I take some with me. The notion of collective property was something that my mind hadn't grasped yet at that age. The background music is Pages. Gotcha. However, back then the whole concept of property was pretty hazy to me. This memory seemed even stranger now, while I was standing in this particular camp where they might have managed to build communism in 3 years. Soviet symbolism was all over the place, and the shelves were full of related literature. Of course, I wasn't planning to read any of these. Getting acquainted with a full collection of books by Marx was the last thing on earth I would think of. He was fighting a Latios for 20 minutes, used all your Pokeballs, then it killed itself. Aw, poor Tyler Cat. It used struggle, I guess. Tyler Cat's playing Pixelmon. I'll be returning to that game when I beat this one. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. Where's the librarian? I didn't spend much time looking for her. It's this girl. I looked closely. Short hair, thick glasses, rather cute face. She was snoring so peacefully I couldn't just wake her up. I can wait. If she doesn't wake up in half an hour, then maybe. I couldn't just sit there, so I took a random book from the nearest bookshelf and thwacked her on the head. I accidentally killed her. Whoops. Arthur Schopenhauer, The World as Will and Representation. I opened it roughly in the middle and started reading. The life of a man with its endless upkeep, wants, and suffering. Okay, I don't want to read like a whole book. It's regarded as the explanation and paraphrase of its prerogative act, absolute claim, the will to live. Furthermore, reason the man owns nature, his death will think indicted to debt. Evidence that our existence involves guilt. At any rate, we always exist from time to time, paying with death for our birth. We always exist and alternatively bear all the joy and sorrow of life, since neither both can pass how to live. Thus the fear of death, which in spite of all miserables of life holds us firmly to it, really elusive, but just as elusive as the impulse which has attracted us to it. This attraction itself may be seen objectively, mutual longing for two lovers, love, a will to live, how gentle and tender it is. It wants happiness and quiet pleasure and mild joys for itself, for others, for all. Someone knocked on the door. I closed the book quickly and put it back in its place. What a nice habit, knocking on the door. I should pick it up. It was Lena. Oh, hi. I smiled. Hi, I just wanted to return a book. She had the copy of Gone with the Wind that I saw yesterday. Oh, Xenia is still sleeping. I'll come back later. Xenia. Yeah, I'm awake. I turned around in surprise to look at her. She eyed me closely from behind her table. What is it you wanted? I need you to check here. Give it here. She quickly signed the paper and gave it back to me. She had this look on her face that made me want to keep quiet. Lena came up to her to return her book. I thanked Xenia and went out. So is this everyone? All the characters now? Finally, I got all the signatures. Now I had to go back to Olga and give it to her. I did it! She was sitting in front of her cabin, reading a book. Doesn't look like a good role model for the perfect pioneer that she was planning to turn me into. I wondered if her responsibilities extended beyond giving fiery speeches at the lineup, scolding Ulyana, and getting involved into my morale, physical and ideological growth. Here. I offered her my checklist. She placed it in her pocket without even looking at the signatures. Great, I could have signed it myself without going anywhere. Perfect. So, did you meet our nurse? Yes. For some reason, her question sent shivers down my spine. Which club have you signed up for? I didn't. I need to think first. That's a pity. It's vital for you to sign in somewhere tomorrow. Of course, sure. Right, it's time to go to dinner. About time. I was getting hungry. I headed to the canteen together with Olga. I looked at the sky and noticed the sun was already setting. It was? Huh. On the porch stood Alyssa, Electronic, Ulyana, and Slavia. As we came up, I heard what they were talking about. And never call me Devache again, or you'll get another one. I didn't call you that. You're hearing things.
He did. I heard it all.
You were even there. You weren't even there.
I was in the bushes.
Come on, you guys, stop it. So it wasn't a football injury Electronic suffered earlier today. The nurse did a good job. I couldn't even see his black eye. Olga came up to them and asked about the ruckus. What happened? Alyssa and Cheeskov, I didn't do anything. She shrugged with antipathy and went inside. Right, dinner time! Ulti, Ty has gone insane. He added Shiny Mewtwo and Shiny Arceus to Wonder Trade. That's fine, Tyler Cat. Don't worry about it. Maybe someone will get lucky. Shiny Mew. This is for, like, lucky people. Test your luck, you know? It's fine. Let him do as he wishes. And a shiny Shuckle, why not? I entered last. There weren't too many free seats. There were a few... See, Alex wants to get lucky, right? There were a few free chairs near Alyssa across the canteen. But I'd sooner starve for a week or two than risk my head near her. There was also a seat near Uliana, but I'm not into traditional Chinese whatever crawls cuisine. Finally, a free chair near Miku. Looks like I'll have to pick my poison. You mind if I sit here? Oh yeah, sure. I mean, no, I don't mind. I mean, yes, you can sit here. I sat down. Look, it's buckwheat today. Do you like buckwheat? And chicken. You want to get Arceus? Imagine if you got 3 of those. Yeah, that'd be great. I don't like chicken. Well, not that I don't like it. But if you'd ask me what I would prefer to say, stroganoff beef or ragout. No, maybe just a hamburger. Or a rump steak. Do you like rump steak? I'm not that picky about my food. And that's the simple truth. 48 kopecks. Leningradzko. Ice cream brand's popular. Gotcha. I like ice cream. Do you like ice cream? I just love 48 kopecks. And Leningradzko. Oh, sorry. I kept talking about myself. Maybe you like Eskimo better. Dinner was starting to get on my nerves thanks to such company. And I'm not the kind of person that can just ignore someone who's talking to them. Even her. We're at the same table after all. You know, once I brought a waffle cone and started eating, then you know what? I found a screw there. A real screw. Can you imagine that? Or was it a bolt? I don't really know. Screws are those that you tighten with screwdrivers, and bolts are those that you turn with a wrench, yes? If there was a speed eating contest going on, I would probably be in the top 3 winners by now. Right, I'll be going. Enjoy your meal. I got up and headed outside. Miku was saying something, but her words were drowned by the crowd of loudly dining pioneers. Looks like an ordinary, average group of pioneers. Do you see some of their hairs, though? There's one with pink hair over there, 2 with purple hair, another with pink hair on the left, a green-haired girl, a blue-haired girl. I wonder how, like, that even happens. How do people get pink hair? How do people get purple and blue hair? I went out and sat at the stairs, waiting for my dinner to settle down a bit. I just sat there and watched night falling. Everything is so lively here during the day. Kids laughing and yelling happily, fooling and running around, constant chatter, games going on and swimming at the beach. But after dark, the camp changes entirely. The sounds of day were swapped for silence, only now and then broken by crickets chirping or a night bird. What is Wonder Trade? You trade one of your Pokemons, and you get a random one from the Wonder Trade bank back. It could be something that's trash or something amazing. It's like a gamble, you know? It's like the lottery. The camp was going to sleep. In every shadow you could see things. Maybe a ghost, or a spirit of the forest, or a wild animal. A human being would be the last thing to expect. Or some jump scare thing, who knows? That's how it looked last night. And now, the locals followed their routines very strictly. In the day, the camp was theirs. In the night, it belonged more to the forces of nature than to humans. Clunk. Someone touched my shoulder. I looked back. It was Electronic. Let's go play cards. Cards? Yep, I invented a new game. A good one. Good? Like, how? Is that in Sun and Moon? Yes. It's in Ruby, Omega Ruby, and Sapphire, and X and Y as well. And Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Well, first we got to find the cards, then I'll tell you. Then go find them. What's the problem? Only Olga has them, and she won't give them to me. Why so? Well, the last time Olga and Slavia came out onto the porch. Olga, Semyon just wanted to ask you about the possibility of getting playing cards. Actually, for what purpose? We invented a new game. Not we, you did. What game? I need the cards to show you. I don't like this. Well, if Semyon is with you, then perhaps it's okay. To be really honest, well, go fetch them together, Olga. Go get the cards with Slavia. Go alone. I don't know, I don't want to be friends with, or not friends, I don't want to woo Slavia. I'll go get them. Fine, they're in my cabin, in the desk drawer. I headed to Olga's place. Why did I agree anyway? Then again, what choice did I have? There's nothing to do here at night. At least I'll have some fun. But my mind kept nagging me about this not being a good time for having fun. On the other hand, if there actually exists a camp with pioneers, then it must be someone's doing. And even if it's not true, the most logical thing is to seek answers here, not in the forest or fields. But at this very moment, the answer is going to play cards. We're going to play Blade. Click. I opened the door with my own key and went inside. To my surprise, there were no cards inside. Instead, it was full of cups, forks, and knives, plates, scotch tape, scissors, rubber gloves, and a piece of rope, a few plastic bags, pencils, and a few broken pens. Everything except the playing cards. Maybe I should look in the closet. It was full of Olga's clothes, with a small drawer with a keyhole. At the top caught my eye. I pulled, but it didn't open. I wonder if she's hiding something. Forcing it open wasn't the best idea, even if the cards were in there. I was just turning to leave as I remembered something. Slavia forgot her keys yesterday. They're here. What if... For a moment I hesitated, but then approached the closet and started picking a key for the lock. Of course, it would be strange to expect a result. Indeed, why would Slavia carry a key for Olga's personal chest? But to my surprise, another key slid into the lock and turned a few times without a problem. Suddenly, the door squeaked behind me. I jumped and turned around, but there was nobody in the cabin. Was it the wind? I carefully looked outside, not a single person in sight. Perhaps it was nothing, but I still felt uneasy. Jump scare? No. I even looked in the bushes by the cabin, but then decided to go back and seek out all the dark secrets of our chief. Semyon, what's taking you so long? Yes. With shaking hands, I turned the key and jerked it out of the lock. Slavia came closer. Ah, my keys. I thought I'd lost them. Where did you find them? They were in the bushes, outside. Found them just now. Thank God I managed to close it before she saw. Shall we go? I wanted to get out as fast as possible, and preferably forget about my attempt to violate someone's privacy. When I got back, Olga informed me. Sorry, I remember that cards were in Slavia's cabin. She fetched them while you were looking. I looked at Slavia. She meets Smiley. Come on, you guys, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Slavia and Olga went inside. I was going to follow, but someone grabbed my hand. Alyssa. Her gaze sent a shiver down my spine. Not a nice one. You want something? I asked carefully. You're going to play this stupid game? Yes. Something wrong with that? Nope, nothing. She was turning to leave, but then slowly looked back and smiled. So you play cards? A little. I couldn't figure out what she wanted. So only Duroc, and that's it? Card game popular in USSR, similar to President. Heh! As if you're a poker star. Well, yes, technically. Then you don't have a chance. Why? Because. So you know the rules? Of course. Well, then you will have the upper hand. I couldn't see why we go on talking and motioned toward the door. Why do you keep trying to leave? Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Let's make a bet. What do you mean? You're such a slowpoke. The cards, what else? And what do you want to bet on? Then that I'll win. That's quite a possible outcome. I agreed calmly. So, are you afraid? No, I'm not. I'm not big on bets when I don't like my chances. And you're not big on taking a risk, too. Such an astute observation. I'm impressed. Right, then No, you're not. Now what? I sighed in exhaustion. She was starting to annoy me with her rubbish talk about some pointless bet. If you won't bet with me, I'll tell everyone that you try to seduce me. What? You heard me. I couldn't imagine her doing this. Don't be stupid. Who's gonna believe you? I've been here less than 2 days. Besides, want to try your luck? Right. And what will happen if I win? I won't tell anyone anything. And if I lose? Slowpoke mode again? I'll tell everyone you try to seduce me. I told you already. So you're telling me now that I have to work to prove that I didn't do something, which I didn't when I didn't actually do it? If that's how you want to look at it. Not a simple decision. On the one hand, it was stupid to agree. I didn't know the rules and gambling wasn't my thing. On the other hand, she could really make my life hell. And again, can I even trust her? She can do it even if I win. So, have you made a decision? I was going to answer, but suddenly Lena came around me from behind. What? Nothing. Lena hurried inside. So? If this will trigger a love thing with her, I kind of don't want to fall in love with her either. I'm gonna say no. No, I'm not going to participate in your shady business. Sorry about that. You wuss. She shrugged and went up the stairs. Before she went inside, she flung at me. Prepare to face the consequences. Consequences? What if I made the wrong decision? After all, she can really complicate things for me here. On the other hand, I just couldn't allow myself to be pulled into something so reckless. I let out a heavy sigh and followed her through the door. Alright, guys, I think this is a good spot to end for now. This is an interesting game. I'm liking it so far. Where's the save? There it is. So, save game? Yes. So, I'll be back with this tomorrow. We're gonna have fun. It's gonna be awesome. Oh wow, a lot of save files. But yeah, we'll be back with this game tomorrow. And we will be back with Final Fantasy Maxima tonight. Oof, this year is looking pretty good so far. New games, new everything. I can't wait. So, thank you all so much for coming. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm enjoying so far. I will see you all tonight with the Final Fantasy and tomorrow with this game again. So get ready. Alright, take care everyone. See you later. Bye bye!